Okay, so let's start the second session after the short break, 5 break. We had a short break. It's 25th October, Friday 2024, and we are in BBIS first semester English class. And we are reading Manjushri Thapa's story or essay. What is the title? Rhymes with Panju Free by Manjushri. So let's read here. She says, I was hapless. And you can see the narration is first person singular. Hapless means unfortunate. To understand the reasons for my misery, she talks about this misery. And I have a question to you. We have read the misery. For example, she wanted to save underarms, she wanted to save the legs, she wanted to drink, she wanted to maybe have, not sure, sex, she wanted to have a boyfriend, she wanted so many things, but the family wouldn't allow. Now, I don't know, I have a question to you. You can do a research on, write a paper. What is the source of this misery she's talking about? Right? And I want you to connect this misery below with the idea of neurosis. And please, as you listen to me and my explanation, keep this word in mind and ask yourself throughout as you listen to me, what are the miseries she is facing? What are the miseries? But miserable I was in my half Nepali, half American life. Now we have the answer. We have one answer to this misery. What do they call this misery? This misery is split identity. This is called hybrid identity. This is called split identity. This is called identity crisis. There is a term in literary theory, identity crisis, when you are not sure whether you are male or female. Somebody can have this situation. They grow. Biologically, they may be male, having genitals of a boy. Biologically, they may be female, having genitals of a girl, but psychologically, they may be oriented to another gender. Right? For example, I'm not talking about her, just an example. But her case was because she grew up in Canada, America, she had one culture inside home, another culture outside home. I had similar situation. But I didn't suffer like her, because you will see that Nepali culture and Indian culture are not very different. They are not very different. One example I'll give you. In India during Dashara, Indian people do not eat lasun, pyaz, macha, masu, nothing. They fast. And whenever I came to Nepal sometimes, and I would see in Nepal that during Dashara, Nepalese people would slaughter, of course, Nepalese people would slaughter buffaloes. And when I for the first time came to Kathmandu or any city and saw heaps of meat, buffalo meat, I was shocked. I was shocked. And I hated Nepali people when I saw meat eating during Dasai. Because in India, Dasai is fasting, Navaratri. For 9 days you fast. You don't eat meat, you don't eat lasun, pyaz, no ashuddha thing. But in Nepal, they eat meat, and I hate it. Something like this, okay. So I told you, this is an example of crisis identity. She feels that she was tortured. Why? Because she asked the question, am I Nepali? One corner of her mind said, no, you are not Nepali. Then she asked the question, am I American? Another corner said, no, you are not American. Then the question came, who am I? Right? Because biologically, she looked like Nepali. Her parents made her put on Nepali dress. Her parents made her speak Nepali language. Her parents made her meet Nepali friends. But in the school outside, look what happens. Now she will tell. She will tell. This American, now she will tell more about this event, American life. And you will come to learn why she is having this identity crisis. I took refuge from it in art. When I had this crisis, torture, misery, what she did? She pursued art hobby. When I did art, I did not have to be in society. Look here. Here you see a conflict. What conflict? Individual versus society. This writer is individual. And she is willing something that the society doesn't allow. So she escapes society. And when this is too much, people commit suicide. When this goes extreme, people commit suicide. Nepali or American? Look, I did not have to be in Nepali society or American. I could just be. This very important line. Look here. Please underline this line and focus on this sentence. I could just be. I have a question when I reading this line at home. What does Manjushree Thapa mean by being just be? And I don't still have an answer. I don't have an answer. I can't tell you. But one thing I can say, that she was trying to understand herself. She was discovering herself. Such novel, such writing is known as coming of age writing. There is a term in literature. Coming of age writing. This essay belongs to coming of age writing. What is coming of age writing? There is a wonderful novel written by a young girl, Sandra Cisneros, a very famous author, novelist, Sandra Cisneros, and the name of the novel is House Under the Mango Tree. I'm not sure. House Under the Mango Tree, something. In that novel, Sandra Cisneros describes her experience of growing as a teenager. And I'll recommend you, girls and boys in this class, read that novel. Because that novel will help you identify yourself in the novel. You will find that it's about you. The novel by Sandra Cisneros for the girls, and for the boys, a wonderful novel. I read alone. Catcher in the Rye. C-A-T-C-H-E-R, Catcher in the R-Y-E, Rye. It's a novel which is more about young boy, teenage, and teenage experience. So if you are looking for good reading, girls can go with House Under the Mango Tree by Sandra Cisneros. I'm not sure about the title, you check Google. Boys can go for Catcher in the Rye. I forgot the author, very famous, Salinger. Author, last name Salinger, S-A-L-I-N-G-E-R, forgot the first name. Both of these novels are world famous novels, wonderful reading. I'll highly recommend you read them. Okay, so I was saying, this is coming of age writing. In coming of age writing, the writers discover themselves as a writer. They describe their growth experience. I learned to mix colors, she's talking about art, to draw likenesses, to steady my hand. I learned to use pencil, charcoal, pastel, watercolors, acrylics, oils. I went to the National Gallery and copied Picasso. I painted from life. I painted from my imagination. Fruits I painted, glasses I painted, portraits of famous people I painted, self-portraits, I made my own picture, portraits of my own hands I painted. When I was in class 6, there was a new subject in my school, art. And the teacher's name was Paul sir. We would call him Paul. I remember he came in Kurta Dhoti. Paul sir. And Paul sir for the first time taught us to draw pictures. And in class 7, after 1 year of training in painting, I started my first portraits. And what I would do, I'd buy canvas from market, I'll make paintings, I'll copy pictures, calendars, pictures, and I would hang in my classroom. One girl in the other section saw these paintings and she fell in love with me. We were in love for 1 year. It's good to be a painter because you get a girlfriend or a boy, right? So just sharing this one experience because it matches with her experience, right? Because I'm teaching a memoir, I will share a lot of my memory. Okay, go ahead. But art did not exempt me from all obligations. Look, you have obligations. You're a daughter. So your parents say, do this, do that. You have a sister. You have to go to college. You have to do assignments. You have to do research. You have to get a degree. You have obligations. Though we belonged to the impoverished underbelly of BC's diplomatic world. See the criticism. She says, I was diplomat's daughter. I was ambassador's daughter. But I was impoverished. I could not go to beach. I couldn't go to summer camp. I couldn't buy a dog. Though I was ambassador's daughter. One thing I like, listen to me carefully. One great quality that makes you a good writer is called honesty. Who is a great writer? Who honestly writes what they feel. Who is a great writer? One who does not pretend. One who does not make up. One who does not bluff. One who does not tell lies. What I appreciate about Manjushri in these lines is her honesty as a writer. She could have not told why would one like to talk about poverty? Because one might think it's insulting. But look how honestly she talks about her sexual experience, her father, her mother. Look here, read ahead. Yes. We did go to the White House and every now and then to black tie galas. Parties where people will come with black tie, nice dresses, three-piece suits, or balls, dances. Once a year, oh God, once a year, the embassy hosted a National Day reception in a hotel basement. Why basement? To find a cheaper place. Embassy did not have money to host a program in a prime location, where professional gate crashers would come for free drinks and a meal. Who are gate crashers? Gate crashers, young people who look for party places and they slip in, pretending they are one of the parties and they enjoy eating and drinking and they come out. One thing I like to tell you, Manjushri Thapa is also a political activist even today. In 2064-66, when Tarai was having a movement, Manjushri Thapa wrote in favor of Tarai people. And in 2046, when Nepal was having movement, Andolan, Manjushri Thapa, I'm not sure, maybe came to Nepal and she wrote a novel at that time, A Tutor of History. That novel, A Tutor of History, records one young man from Tanahu, a character, who takes part in that movement, political movement. So I was just telling you, Manjushri Thapa is a political activist also. She writes in favor of the human rights of the marginalized people. Okay. Would come for free drinks and a meal. Also once a year, the embassy hosted a Dasai party at the embassy, which overflowed with suited and booted men and sari-clad women. There was the occasional meeting of friends of Nepal and Nepalese in America that we kids had to go to. Look, the language, had to go to. She did not enjoy going to the same party. See the language. See her clear message. Had to go to. Because she was forced by her parents. Also remember my sister and I having to parade ourselves. She didn't like. But her parents said, okay, take part in this parade, Nepalese cultural parade. in identical Baku, because our parents made her wear typical Himalayan dress Baku to show Americans about Nepali culture, and she hated the Baku. Maybe she wanted micro-midi, but she was wearing Baku. Okay. Then, at some fair run by the diplomatic wives, now see this powerful line, her opinion about what happened. Look what she says. None of this constituted my idea of fun. It was a torture for me. It was a torture for me. Wearing Baku, wearing sari, wearing Nepali dress, celebrating Dasai, going to Nepali, it was a torture. During spring and Christmas breaks, the embassy turned into a boarding house as Nepali students, the children of family friends, came to sit out their school or college breaks. When school in America, when you go for a scholarship, you don't get a scholarship in summer break. So you have to stay on your own. So many Nepali students, when there is summer break, either they would go for a job or they would go to some relatives as paid as guests. Move ahead. Okay, now see the problem now. Girls would share my sister and my room in the attic. Look where this attic is when you have a house like this. Attic is here. They didn't have a very special living room. In the attic, boys would share my brother's attic room. My parents' room below us was off limits. Extra guests would also be put up in the official guest room and even in the royal guest room. Please understand, she is marking out the phrase royal guest room, and her meaning is the royal guest room was not royal at all. When you mark out with single inverted comma like this is called irony. This is called irony. What is irony? Irony is using a word to make opposite meaning. Irony, I-R-O-N-Y, irony is a technique in literary writing. And in writing, many times writers say one thing and they mean the opposite. So here she says royal. She means it was poor. Which was no less, look, royal, but no less derelict in irony. It was written royal guest room, but the irony is it was derelict than the rest of the embassy. 1 year. Now she moved to another memory. This essay is a series of memories, and the easiest way to begin as a writer for you is pick up the pen and simply jot down your daily memory. And I promise, I bet after 6 months you will feel like you want to be a writer. Chances are, by the time you finish BBA, you'll become a writer. Over there in 2017, used to sit a girl. Her name was Deepti Shrestha. And I told the class even in 16, write diary. And Deepti would regularly write diary. And I would read her diary. I've never seen an intelligent girl like her for 9 years. Today, she is doing her MBA in business analytics in America. As she says, she will pursue PhD. A wonderful girl. And she says that she developed a lot by this writing habit. I'll hardly encourage you, buy your diary today, make it a private diary, and every evening write 1 page, 2 pages, recording your memory of the day. Go ahead. Okay. One year, a Nepali student who boarded with us took it upon himself to pursue me. She was 14. When this happened, she was 14. And one boy came and he would pursue her. I was ungainly I was not attractive physically. I was clumsy. Obviously said I was getting weight. 14-year-old with lank hair and large eyeglasses. The boy was 20. He told me he loved me. I don't think it was a love. It must have been infatuation. There's a term infatuation. You should know. What is infatuation? When you are in mid-teens or early teens, you have this emotional attraction to opposite sex. That may be bodily attraction, but that doesn't last long. It dies soon. I don't know. He told me he loved me and kissed me. His lips were faintly repulsive. She hated. Like warm milk. I remember being baffled, totally bewildered and perplexed. When he kissed her, she didn't understand what was going on. It was so sudden. He kissed her so suddenly, she didn't understand what was he doing. And I request you, as you read the story, make a list of such experiences to answer the question, why she says my life was misery. She says my life was misery. Feeling sleepy, you can go out and wash your face if necessary. Try to be attentive. If you can't, go out and wash your face. I'm sorry, because it's a long class. He protested, but I have already told my parents we are getting married. Oh God, what a mad boy. Can you go like this? You tell a girl, you marry me. No, I can't marry. I told my father, I want to marry you. Oh God, what a foolish boy. He says, why? Then she says, I am 14-year-old. We will wait, of course, he said. No, I said. Don't you love me? He said. I don't think. So I said, this is the first time in the story where you have dialogue. Under the heading, elements of narrative, please write dialogue. Under the heading, elements of the story, you have been writing characters, now write dialogue. This is the first time you have a dialogue. Some days later, he had his roommate call to say that he had been hospitalized after a suicide attempt. He had his roommate call to say, maybe it was a false thing, I don't know. Either he pretended, okay, call her and tell her that I committed suicide. Maybe then she will agree to marry me. Such things happen when we are young teenagers, right? It happened a lot of times in my life. I've done such mischiefs many times. I don't know about your case. Go ahead. Distressed, I confessed all to my sister. See, the boy said, the boy made his friend make her a call. And he said, oh, your boyfriend or my friend has committed suicide in the hospital. Then what to do? She told my sister, she advised me to confess all to my mother. See the word confess. The sister said, let's go to mom and tell everything. How he kissed and what he did, all that. Is it easy to go to the mother and say the boy kissed me? That's not easy. Even more distressed, I confessed all to my mother. Even more distressed. See, the talking sex with mother is not easy. Came my mother's swift verdict. What did she say? No Nepali boy will ever marry you now. Balla khais, she said. Balla khais. Ab tero bandani huncha, duniyaले thaha paउँछ, तँलाई कसरी बिहा गर्ने? Balla khais. Sorry for this Nepali. Maybe the mom spoke that way, I don't know. Right? Do you think her mother should have responded that way? No. I should say that her mother did not have good understanding of handling teenagers. See the problem. When parents don't understand their emotions and feelings. We face difficult times when our parents do not understand our emotions and feelings as we are growing as teenagers. Then with a few quick phone calls to the boy and to his parents in Nepal, she and my father made the whole thing go away. Oh God, we had to phone call Nepal. and tell the boy's father and mother, your son has committed suicide for our daughter, but we can't get her married to your son. I believed my mother. No Nepali boy would ever marry me now. And even today, as I know, last year's information, Manjusri Thapa is unmarried. She didn't get married. She didn't marry, even today. I don't know for this time, but till last year, when I taught this lesson last year, I checked her Facebook account and I found she's still single. That belief set me free. This is important. Now, because Manjushri says that, when I knew I wouldn't be marrying any Nepali, I felt I am free. So a question comes, does marriage end all your freedom? Because many Western feminists say that marriage is a legal prostitution. They say marriage is an institution that allows legal prostitution. The wife gives sex, in return gets food, clothes and shelter. No freedom. With the marriage, all freedom for women ends, many women think. Western perspective. If no Nepali boy was ever going to marry me, why not? I reasoned, actually be worthy of rejection. She said, I'll reject. What? She said, I don't worry about Nepali boys marrying me. I'll reject all Nepali boys. And she says, I'll reject all boys. Then she says, I wanted to be a boy. Later she says, I wanted to be a boy. That line was quite disturbing for me. Why would a 16-year-old girl say, I want to be a boy? I don't know. You can read and understand. Come. Why bother to be a good Nepali girl or any kind of girl? She said, I do not bother to be a girl because I want to be a boy. I asked these girls, have you ever seen your siblings? Have you ever seen boys around your neighborhood and read them? And have you ever felt you want that kind of freedom? I had Miss Shanti Shrestha long ago. I taught grade 11. One day she wrote a letter to me. She wrote a letter at the back of the assignment copy. She said, Divakar sir, pachadi chidi cha padnu la. I said, okay, padchu. You know what she wrote? She writes, sir, मलाई पढ्न मन लाग्दैन. I speak Nepali. It was Nepali. मलाई पढ्न मन लाग्दैन. सरलाई थाहा छ कि त्यस्तो हुन्छ. मेरो भाइ छ घरमा. हामी चाहिँ सँगै निस्किन्छौँ. म 11 मा पढ्छु, भाइले 9 मा पढ्छ. अनि बिहान निस्किने बेलामा मम ड्याडले भाइले 50 रुपैयाँ दिनुहुन्छ खाजा खान, मलाई 20 रुपैयाँ दिनुहुन्छ. Then she writes further. बेलुका 5 बजे म घरमा आइन भने मम्मीले मलाई कुचोले हाल्नुहुन्छ अनि सोध्नुहुन्छ कहाँ गएको थिइस् भनेर. तर मेरो भाइ सर राति 9 बजे आउँछ, बुवा मम्मीले केही भन्नुहुन्न. तपाईलाई थाहा छ सर, मैले मेरो घरमा मेरो बुवा मम्मीले मेरो भाइ र ममा कस्तो डिस्क्रिमिनेसन गर्नुहुन्छ. मलाई पढ्न मन लाग्दैन. Today she is in America. Shanti. I thought, I don't know if I should tell her name, right? But I don't tell where she's from. Her father is a tailor in Europe. He has a tailoring shop, big shop. Shanti. I never forget. Wonderful girl. She trusted me like a father. More than father. That's why she shared something with me which she could not share with the family. That's the role of a teacher. That's the role of a teacher. Move ahead. Okay. So she says, I did not want to be a girl at all. For a stormy year. Why stormy? Because so many bad things happened. And a half, I wore my hair. Now look, she said, I didn't want to be a girl. Now look at this. She trimmed her hair. Dressed in lumberjack outfit, in hoodies. Lumberjack hoodies that boys do. Walked with a manly swagger. Walked like a boy. And rejected everything to do with pleasing Nepali girl. I was very consciously avoiding to be a girl. What is a girl? What does being a Nepali girl mean? Being a Nepali girl might mean have a long hair, Don't show your thighs and knees. Put cover whole body. Don't wear makeup. Be shy. Naina Vanula kind of girl. The Nepali movie. The bloody fleece movie. Sorry for this wrong word. What is Naina Vanula? When the boy says, may I kiss you? Naina Vanula. When the boy says, may I hug you? Naina Vanula. Oh God. Oh God. This is a bad movie. Because the movie teaches the girls, Naina Vanula. Whereas we should teach you, Nai Vanula. You should learn, girls, you should learn Nai Vanula. When the boy touches you outside the corridor, Nai Vannu. When the boy touches your body, Nai Vannu. Slap Vannu. Your body, your body. Why should he touch you? But the movie teaches, Naina Vanula. Because the buffaloes who make such movies, they have no sense of what is right and wrong. The buffaloes who make such movies, they don't understand what is right and wrong. And they make movies, Naina Vanula, which inspires young girls like you, that if a boy approaches me, I should surrender. Right? Sorry for this harsh commentary about Nepali movie. But here she says, I wanted to make sure I don't look like a girl. Move ahead. Please do not talk as I explain, because this will make me lose my temper. Let me inform you, when I explain this way and when I see you talking, all of a sudden I get so angry you don't expect me. And this disrupts class, okay? Listen to me. I wanted to be a boy. Reading this line, I had a tough time. I had a question. Why would a 15-year-old girl want to be a boy? I had many questions. One question was like, is she lesbian? Another question was like, is she transgender? Another question was like, is she a tomboy? So many questions came in my mind, but I don't have answer. I need to meet herself and take an interview and know from her. And not just any boy. I wanted to be a free-born Western boy. Now I understand why she wanted a boy. Because she saw that boys enjoy that level of freedom which girls never enjoy. Girls, do you agree that your brothers are enjoying that level of freedom which your parents would never allow you? Your brother, if he has a girlfriend, your parents will say, Mero chhora jawan bhayo, keti sati cha. If you have a boyfriend, they will say, oh, mero chhora ke gardai chhe, I should be satarka. Have you seen this double standard? Our parents, if your brother goes to a pub, drinks heavily, comes home, they might say, your parents might say, chhora jawan bhayo cha, herta aja, thamera gaera, raat bhar disco nachera, rakshi khaera aayo. Imagine you go to a pub, you get drunk, and you walk home like this. How will they react? The reaction won't be same. It will be different because our parents do not treat their son and daughter equally. The reasons may be different. The reasons may be different, but I'm sure they are not treating us equally. That's what it's making. Right? The freedom boys enjoy. Look here. Then she says, not just any free-born Western boy. I wanted to be, I can't pronounce this Swedish name, John Bohr. I don't know how to pronounce this name. It's a foreign name. Sorry for this. The Swedish tennis star. Look, and how this is what it looked like. It looked like. It's not in the book. It's not in the printed book. It's not in the original book. I just downloaded it from the internet for you. She wanted to look like this. She wanted to be a star, player, sports person. Let me make you understand one thing. Please understand that one thing I see in this essay is, in these lines, you can note down, the desire for unlimited freedom. The desire for unlimited freedom. As we grow as teenagers, we realize, at your age, you are 18, 19, I'm 56. Now, as I look at you, I remember my own teenage. This is the time we are most energetic, we are most ambitious. We have big plans, big dreams. And we need freedom. And at this age, when our parents control, that becomes a torture. That brooding intensity, that headband, look, that intensity, that headband, those wristbands, that two-handed, look, she describes, and as I checked in Google, it's exactly the description. See the headband, see the wristband, see this intense face expression, see the muscular thighs, see the wristband, see the headband, see the long hair, see this V-shaped shirt, see the shorts. She describes all the things. Go ahead. That two-handed western backhand and blonde hair and those blue eyes, those long muscular legs in those white shorts. Reading these lines, I remember my niece from America who came last year. She is 9 or 11, I forgot. And once I said, "Will you marry a Nepali boy?" She said, "I'll marry a black American." She is 11. And she said, "I hate Nepal." I said, "Why?" "There are no commodes to go to toilet." She said, "I hate Kathmandu." "Why?" "It's full of dust and dirt." I said, "Will you come back again, Nepal?" She said, "No." Look, she is just 10, 11. She said, "I won't come back to Nepal." Now, when she becomes 20, she may have such feelings. Because biologically she will be Nepali, her parents will be Nepali, psychologically her consciousness will be American. Right? And blue eyes, those long muscular legs. While reading this line, you know what thoughts came to my mind? When a 15 or 16-year-old girl sees muscular legs of a sportsman, she should have sexual desire. I had this feeling. But I had a question. Why is this writer not attracted sexually to this sportsman? Because for a normal girl, 16, I may be wrong, I may be right, you respond to me. I imagine that a 16-year-old girl, when she sees a sportsman like him, she should be attracted to her physique, body. But she doesn't show that attraction. Those white shorts, those socks and K-Swiss shoes, the V-neck vest, this is exactly the picture she's describing. The shirt underneath, the gaze. If I was a girl, and if I had a sportsman, I will fall in love with that man. With his gaze, with his muscular body. But I see, she didn't talk about this sexual attraction. No. And I have a question, why? I don't know. The steadiness, the resolve. And now she says, I wanted to have that resolve, that steadiness, that gaze, that power, that personality. I wanted to be like that star. He was my role model. If Manjushri had grown up in Nepal, he wouldn't be her role model. Another point to note down, in this memoir, the writer describes about her role model. Look at me. Have you seen? As you grow as teenagers, 10 years old, 12 years old, certain people influence us. Heroes influence us. Heroines influence us. Movie characters influence us, right? And we regard them as role model. We want to be like them. We want to be like them, right? At the tennis course, I copied him. I played like him. Off the court, I pored over articles about him, worrying about his rocky marriage to look. Worrying about his rocky marriage to and divorce from Mariana. When I was reading this line, I had a question. I imagined I'm Manjushri. I had a question. Why should I worry about someone's wife and divorce? Was I thinking if he divorces, I can be his wife? I don't know. I don't know. Was I dreaming to marry the sportsman? I don't know. Serious rescue, praying for him to believe in himself and railing against the rise of John McEnroe. Now I understand. Now I understand. She is so devoted to this player that when this player has a divorce with his wife, she cares about him, prays for his goodness, and when there is another competitor, tennis player, she is worried that, oh God, he will defeat my role model. And she prays, oh God, please make him weaker than my role model. Now what you need to keep in mind is that when she is writing this paragraph, she is describing herself when she was 16. And don't forget that 16 is the most tense time in our life. 16, right? When we have lots of emotions and feelings, right? Okay. I once wrote him a letter and his secretary sent me a signed black and white photograph of him. John Bolt forever. It occurred to me very slowly that I did not want to be like him. I loved him. Now she tells that I was not liking, I was in love with him. When I was like 16, you know what I used to do? There was a magazine in India called Film Fair. The price of magazine was 3 rupees IC. It had broadsheet size paper, like newspaper. There were 20 pages. And in all these 20 pages, 50% was photograph of hero and heroine. And what I would do, you know, I would click the heroine's photographs. In those days, heroines wouldn't show the body, yes, maybe cleavage slightly, the thighs not visible. And I'll click all the lady photographs. I will put them in the copy and book, take to classroom. And when my teachers were boring, I'd open a secret look at these photographs and enjoy my class. Because the teacher was boring, I resorted to looking at the picture. Have you done so? No, because you have mobile. You have mobile. It's easy for you. Log in and watch movies or anything, right? But in my days, that was what I did. Now, take a pen and copy last piece of writing. For 5 minutes, when I say start, you will write the last segment of the class, last 40 minutes. Your time starts now. Last piece of writing. Summarize the last 40 minutes of the class. Summarize the last 40 minutes of the class. Please write as fast as possible. I heartily request you, do not stop writing. Do not sit idle. Let me see that your hand is moving. Let me see your pen is moving. Please force yourself with ideas. Force your memory. Try to remember as many things as you can. Force your memory. Write as fast as possible. Write as much as possible. Do not talk to your friends. Yes, I'm coming. Where are you? Who called me? No, nothing. Is it printed correctly? Is it printed correctly? Yeah, one is I have not said. She's worried. One answer is she loves the player so much that if the player has problems of life, she is disturbed. Because she says she was actually in love with the player. Keep writing, please keep writing. Please keep writing. As fast as you can, as much as you can. Was someone sitting here earlier? No, okay. I thought somebody's bunking my class. Keep writing, keep writing.